There's a specific kind of loneliness that no one talks about. It doesn't come from being alone. It comes from seeing too much. From walking into a room and instantly knowing who's pretending, who's insecure, who's quietly competing, and who's already emotionally checked out. If you can read people like this, then you already know the truth doesn't always set you free. Sometimes it traps you. They say awareness is power, but no one warns you about the cost of that power. Because when your mind is wired to notice everything, you don't just experience life, you analyze it, you dissect it, you see through it. And over time, that clarity starts to feel less like a gift and more like a psychological prison. Most people move through life under a kind of social illusion. They believe what people say, they trust the smiles they see, they accept reality at face value. But your brain doesn't work like that. You don't just hear words, you hear the insecurity behind them. You don't just see a smile, you notice when the eyes don't match. You don't just feel energy, you decode it, constantly, automatically. And whether you like it or not, your mind is always collecting data. At some point, you stop enjoying interactions, because you start seeing them for what they really are, performances. You notice the exaggeration, the subtle need for validation, the quiet manipulation. And while everyone else is laughing, you're watching the mechanics behind the moment. That's when it hits you. You're no longer in the experience, you're observing it from the outside. You don't just experience relationships, you predict their endings. You notice the small shifts, the delayed replies, the change in tone, the emotional distance that no one else sees yet. And suddenly, you're grieving something that hasn't even happened. So while they're still present, you're already preparing for their absence. And they don't understand why you feel distant. But the truth is, you saw it coming long before they did. When you see what others don't, you feel responsible for it. You feel the tension in conversations. You sense unspoken pain. You notice emotional gaps people are too afraid to address. And without realizing it, you start fixing things that were never yours to fix. You become the emotional buffer, the peacemaker, the one who understands everyone, but feels understood by no one. And it's exhausting. Not because life is hard, but because you're carrying what others refuse to acknowledge. The more you see, the harder it becomes to believe in anything pure. Kindness starts to look strategic. Apologies feel calculated. Affection feels conditional. You begin to question everything. Why are they really doing this? What do they actually want? And even when something is genuine, your mind keeps searching for the flaw, the hidden agenda, the crack in the surface, until eventually you stop allowing yourself to be surprised by goodness. And then it turns inward. Because if you can see through everyone else, you can see through yourself. You notice your own patterns, your own masks, your own moments of performance. And suddenly, you're not just living your life anymore. You're watching it, judging it, analyzing every word, every reaction, every emotion, until you don't even feel real, just observed. Here's the truth most people never learn. You don't need to see less. You need to carry less. Because awareness isn't the problem. Attachment to what you see is. Respect the performance. Not everything needs to be exposed. People wear masks for a reason. Not always to deceive, but to protect themselves. You can see through the act without tearing it down. Sometimes letting people have their front stage is a form of emotional intelligence, not weakness. Data, not drama. When you notice something, don't turn it into a story. Turn it into information. Instead of "they're fake," shift to "that's how they cope." No judgment, no emotional attachment, just observation. Like watching the weather. Leave some things unresolved. You don't have to figure everyone out. You don't have to solve every inconsistency. Some people are contradictions. Let them be. Not every equation in life needs an answer. And not every truth needs your reaction. Real wisdom isn't just seeing the truth, it's choosing what to do with it. Because most people aren't fake. They're afraid. Afraid of not being enough. afraid of being seen too clearly, afraid of being rejected without their mask. So what you're really seeing isn't deception, it's defense. And the moment you understand that, something changes. The weight gets lighter, the world feels softer, and your awareness stops isolating you and starts connecting you. Your mind is like a high-resolution lens. You've spent so much time zoomed in on flaws, cracks, and inconsistencies. But peace comes from knowing when to zoom out, to see the full picture, the mess, the beauty, the imperfection, and the quiet truth that being human was never meant to be perfect, just real enough.